Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Faab Five Campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Alyssa, Joe, Jeremy, Koines, and Kyle. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Yo.
Now, before we begin, I have a couple announcements to do. The first of which
They can't see you right now.
is that one of our players sent everyone in the group a present that you should all have now, and he asked us to open it on camera. So, is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, open them all up, guys.
Canada's still processing mine.
Oh,
It's fine.
no way. This is awesome.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, these are really, really cool. I'll show this up to the camera here. These are official Random Rhapsody logo dice that Joe Trotter here, who plays Blood from a Stone, got made for us.
Joe, these are awesome. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. And they're actually relatively inexpensive, and the company I went through is Chessex. You know, we're not sponsored by them. God, that'd be great if we were. But they have tons and tons of colors if we want to do more. So this is just a taste.
Yeah, these are awesome. These are awesome. I love the way they look.
The taste is how you get hooked.
So, first of all, thank you, Joe, for these very awesome dice. I absolutely love them.
I'm going to have to make a rogue character just so that I can roll them for sneak attack. Damn
Right?
it.
Sneak attack.
Yeah, the next character I roll, these are going to be the dice I do the stats out with.
Unfortunately, they only do D6s, so yeah. But it's perfect.
Yeah, but they're still awesome. So we've been talking a little bit about doing similar things like that in the upcoming new year. Not only dice, but other merchandise as well. I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of want to wear a Random Rhapsody logo t-shirt when I stream. So if I'm going to make that for myself and buy some for myself, I figured I'd make it available to everyone else as well if they want it. So look forward to that. That's probably coming up in the first part of the new year. I'm also happy to announce that the date for our next holiday one-shot. It's going to be Monday, December the 27th, so right after Christmas. This one is going to be hosted by our very own Joe Trotter, who got us these dice, so he's doing a lot of shit right now. And it's going to have players from both campaigns as well as some special guest stars participating as well. Now you can keep up to date on everything we're doing by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV or on Twitter as Random_Rhapsody. That has all of our scheduling and broadcast info and everything we kind of do here on the show. Okay, so that should do it for the announcements. Now join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Faab Five.
Look at a Koines.
Okay, everybody, we are back. And before we get started, Koines reminded me that I wanted to show these to everybody. These are Halloween cards that Alyssa sent to all of us here in the Faab Five.
Heck yeah.
These are absolutely
Spooky shit.
awesome.
Mine is not with me, but it was great.
I've never gotten a handmade card before. It is awesome. I love this. So thank you very
Well,
much.
Just a little piece of trivia. Matt's card, the face, the eyes, and the mouth are based off of a screenshot of Oogie Boogie. So it's actually
I can
Oogie
see
Boogie
it,
from
yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas. It's his eyes, his mouth.
I could see that.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. So thank you very much, Alyssa. These are awesome.
I just wanted to send like a cute little spooky gift.
They're great.
Heck yeah, good job.
Okay, so when we last left off, the Faab Five had traveled to the dwarven capital of Morag, searching for a magical glaive that Liam had once stolen from the monastery in Bradfordshire. The team started their search in the merchants' quarter of the city, but it wasn't long before our heroes found themselves seated in a tavern surrounded by drinks. There they questioned the waitress who was serving their drinks, and after the exchange of some coin, the squad learned that a serial murderer who is still at large learned about a serial murderer who is still at large, one whose latest victim had managed to escape. The woman showed them a poster which described the killer as an enormous shadow of a man wielding wickedly curved blades, a description that did not seem to sit well with Liam. Apollyon attempted to make some new friends of the suspicious sort, and Eloise ended up putting on an impromptu performance with her flyers, which also allowed the Faab Five to exit the tavern in all of the confusion. The group next decided to head over to the Erudite Conclave to turn over the results of their last mission and collect their pay. The five were gladdened to learn that Tomas Rothan had indeed managed to transport the survivors of the Dream Witnesses Island past the Dreamer army and was close to the town of Weston. The squad reported on their mission, but what they had found, and as time wore on, the party could easily see that the Blue Heron monk Jortha was growing more and more impatient the longer she waited.
Yeah.
Tempers eventually exploded, and when the group started asking about further work, causing the Conclave researcher to suggest that the five conclude their current objectives before returning once again. The five next sought out a local member of the syndicate, and they eventually met a pawnbroker who worked as a fence and his goblin wife, who apparently was an information broker. The dwarf checked Blood's status within the syndicate, and he confirmed that the bounty on Blood and Apollyon had indeed been lifted. And he also seemed to suggest that this had been done by someone very powerful indeed.
Mm-hmm.
The dwarf seemed willing to change out the gold bars for them, or at least he was until Blood and Eloise revealed that they had recovered them from another syndicate member. He also did not seem to be interested in the cursed crown they had recovered in the Dream Witnesses' lair. He was, however, willing to give the pair some information in exchange for gold. And he advised the pair that Elvis Preslor, the man they had been searching for, had indeed been attacked several weeks ago in his mansion in the Palace District by a monstrously large, shadowy being.
Monstrously?
Sure, you know I can't talk well. Monstrously.
What are English?
It's a monstrously large, shadowy being who had already killed several members of other people in the city. Preslor had managed to escape the attack, and he had last been seen fleeing through a gate in the Depths District of the city that leads to the Underdark. And so, Faab Five, Most of you had been hanging out near a large and rather ornately carved stone fountain outside the Temple of the Five, while Blood and Eloise was inside the pawnbroker's shop. It's really hard to judge what time it is underground, and the city seems to hold a perpetual red glow at all times that illuminates the city and keeps it just a little bit brighter than natural twilight. But over the course of your first day here, you've also heard a loud clang of a bell going off at regular intervals somewhere inside the mountain that you guess probably is used to keep the time. Right now it's currently ringing. A solid 9 loud rings that let you know it's getting at least somewhat late. The street around you has quite a few individuals going about their business, mostly dwarves mixed in with an assortment of other races that make up the hegemony. Most of them seem to be giving your group a wide berth as they travel. Now, Blood and Eloise, once your business at the pawn shop concludes, the pair of you exit the stone building and hurry back towards your companions. As you approach them, a question comes to each of your minds. The question is, what would your character's theme song or favorite band or favorite genre of music be? And since Liam is the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and start?
Oh, there's one song I hear in my head whenever I go into battle. Beethoven's Fifth, in D minor. 'Cause when I fight, it's nothing but poetry.
You
Why
got
not?
that smug smile on his face. He knows. He knows what he's doing.
He does. I like it. Veil, how about you?
Well, kind of half of what Liam said. Vale would listen to, if there was ever such thing as a mix between classical and Norwegian death metal. That's what Vale would be listening to.
Okay. I
Could
can
definitely-
kind of...
I
what's the
think
name of that?
that's Sinead O'Connor.
Isn't that Steppenwolf?
There you go.
I dig it. I like it. Eloise, how about you? We can't hear you talking.
How about now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. No. Probably something along the lines of Dream Theater. I like all the different layers.
Okay. I dig it. Blood from a Stone, how about you?
Well, I think he'd definitely be like a rock and metal guy, but maybe like Broken by Cedar would kind of be something that would sum him up. Someone died long ago, very important to him, and he's just been kind of a broken person ever since it happened.
You don't hear the Pink Panther music?
No.
No, he wants that forced-voiced angst. That's what he wants. I like it.
Hey, you leave Brent Smith alone, okay?
I'm surprised he didn't say My Chemical Romance.
No, because I hate My Chemical Romance. I do. And so I can't.
This isn't about you. This is about blood.
No, I know, but you know what? It's me. I am blood, and I can't do
Okay.
it.
Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Eloise is definitely a deconstructed jazz kind of girl.
Deconstructed jazz, yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
chaos. She needs it.
Fuck yeah. I'm with you on that. See, now, I'm not going to lie. I could totally see Blood's theme song to be Black Parade. Tell me I'm wrong.
Right in your goddamn mouth.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Just right in your mouth, I swear.
Okay. Apollyon. Round this out for us, buddy. What's your theme song?
Oh man, I totally think Apollyon's like, his music that gets him pumped is all like 80s hair metal and like big ballads, but I think the theme song has to be the Rocky theme song.
Yeah. Rising up. Yes, it is.
Yeah. No, there's nothing else it could have been. You're absolutely right. That's awesome.
I would have thought like Queen would have been right up Apollyon's alley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Queen could be in the mix.
What about Gloria Gaynor's "I Will Survive"?
Perhaps if we turn this whole epic into a musical, yeah, I'll have to.
He needs some Tina Turner in his life.
Now, see, I could totally see "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen for Apollyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good one for sure.
Yeah. We could just sit here and talk about our themes. Or all we're doing this session is we're making Spotify playlists for each of our characters. That's what's happening now.
Here, I'll roll a random Rhapsody die, and we'll see how many songs we all need to come up with.
There you
God,
go.
no. I don't have enough time as it is. No.
But
what about you, Matt, as the overlord of this world and creator of this world? What is your theme song for this world?
Well, the theme song for this world, I know exactly what it is. I created this story because I heard one fucking song one time on the radio and fell absolutely in love with it. And
Dave Matthews Band "Dreaming Tree."
Yes, that is exactly it. Yes, The Dreaming Tree by Dave Matthews. I heard this song when I was like 16, 17 years old, and I loved it, and I fucking created an entire world around it. And 20 years later, I'm playing it again.
There's a California wine called The Dreaming Tree.
Yep, made by him.
I was going to guess "Safety Dance" by Men Without Hats.
God.
It's dancing in it, but they could be your dwarves or your halflings.
Well, the theme song for where you currently all are is "Diggy Diggy Hole" because you're in the Dwarven Kingdom. So
Hi ho!
Oh God.
Well, anyway, everybody, where was I? Okay.
We were about to start our peeing.
I was. But you know what? What you were doing is you're hanging out by the fountain outside the Temple of the Five near that pawn shop, and Blood and Eloise has just walked out after having a rather interesting meeting with that the dwarf and his goblin wife.
Yeah, what was his name, Matt? Do you remember? Because I do.
Do I remember?
Oh, it does.
Ona.
Well,
Ona's the goblin wife.
I thought that's what we asked.
No, she was asking for the syndicate member, the dwarf.
The shopkeeper.
I'm actually blanking on it, but I do have it written down.
Rogark.
Anyways, I'm gonna turn around to the people who were kind of like, eyeing us up when we were walking in and kind of like making the decision of whether they were going to let us in or not. And I'm just going to turn around and wave at them. And it's like, I hope you have a lovely day. And then I'm going to turn back around to Blood and to the rest of our party. I'm like, they were lovely. I wish Ona wasn't so shy. Why? Why are you shushing me?
They are not the kind of people you want to be shouting the names, especially her. Because she is never seen, I guarantee you.
Well, then nobody knows who I'm talking about.
But a name's enough, that's all they need.
You make no sense.
Oh, I make perfect sense to people who kill people for a living. Trust me, they do not want to be known. Please do not shout her name. Just say the lovely little woman in back. That's all you gotta say.
But now you've associated her name with information on where to find her. That's your fault, Blood.
I didn't associate anybody's name. You shouted it multiple times.
I only said her name. I didn't say anything about where I met her.
Let's go talk in private.
As you're yelling, as Eloise is yelling this as she walks out, that you just keep glancing back, Blood, and those two halflings that are hanging out, loitering outside the pawn shop, is just glaring at Eloise. Glaring.
I only shouted the "Have a lovely day." The rest of it, I was just speaking at a normal level. I was not shouting.
Normal level for Eloise in a giant stone carved out of this literal mountain stone city. Your voice reverberates just a little bit, and probably now obviously, like, I'm not saying the entire place can hear you, but it's definitely more than Blood wants you to be doing right now. And there are a few glances in your direction.
Blood, do we have a direction?
We do. We need to talk this more in somewhere a little more private.
Lead the
Just
way.
Kind of look over the corner. Eloise is like, where they aren't around.
All I said was that they were lovely. All I'm doing is recommending their business as a lovely place to go. And maybe buy stuff.
I love you. You're just delicious.
I'm going to take another handful of my flyers and just throw them in the air.
Oh,
okay. Roll.
Quickly.
Go ahead and roll 2d20, and we'll see how many flyers you grabbed out and threw.
Great.
Making it rain.
He's getting out of there as quickly as he can.
22 flyers just go flying into the air, spreading wildly. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check as well, Eloise, just to see how far you threw them. Because why not?
Okay. Sleight of hand for that? Okay.
Yeah, sleight of hand. Just
Okie-dokie.
we're just doing a dex check to see how wide they go flying.
Oh.
You just grab them and yank, and they just spurt out right in front of you, almost like a little blast of water, but it's flyers, and they just flutter down.
Yeah, I literally throw them over top of my head and they just come back down.
And they just come back down right on top of you.
Well, that wasn't as magical I was hoping. Mitchell will be disappointed. Oh well.
You're more disappointed if you're dead. You can't pass out the others. Let's go.
I don't think I have a lot left. I think I only have like 300 or so. I don't know. There's not that many handfuls left.
talk about it when we talk about our direction. Let's get a move on here. We've drawn enough attention here.
There are definitely a few dwarves as they're walking by down the streets around you all, glancing at you. Just a little curious, like, what is this weird group of people doing shouting in the street?
Oh.
As we start to move on, I'm gonna whisper to Blood. Golden Tongue's gonna find us with no problem.
Oh, we're dead. I know. He could be, and he could be here now. I mean, frankly, yeah, but we're not that quiet, are we?
We did fast travel. It'd be hard for him to track us at that jump there. And I don't think we did anything in Bradfordshire or the mountain range, so, no path from island to here. That's quite a jump.
Hopefully.
Did we kill a bunch of stuff on the mountain, though?
We did.
But I don't think we posted any flyers.
I think she did put some on one of the giants.
Oh.
Yeah, that tracks, probably.
I don't remember.
I'm willing to bet.
We'll take another 30 flyers off of that.
Yeah, I doubt more than 2 or 3 got plastered on that thing. But maybe on the bottoms of their boots when they're laying there dead.
Yep. And one right smack in the middle of their butt cheek right there.
Yeah.
Like a cutie mark.
Probably.
Oh.
Tramp stamp flyer. Got it. All right. So we get into a more secret area. Was Blood telling us the direction?
So yeah, here's my question. You're all standing at the fountain, beginning to walk away, trying to crowd together to maybe get some of those stairs off your backs. Where are you guys heading?
I'm looking to Blood for a direction. I have no idea.
We can't go in that direction just yet. We got to find a place so we can go talk. Are there any? I guess we're in a market. Are there any inns or anything like that?
Yeah, you're in. There are quite a few actually. Now, you guys are close to one that you had been to not too long ago, the Wandering Tankard, where you guys made an interesting splash with the locals.
Did we see any others on our way here?
There are. Yeah, there's some. Probably every few blocks or so. You could easily find another one if you want to find one.
Yeah, we're going to pick a different one.
Sure, absolutely. Roll a d20 for me.
Oh, get that out of here now.
Okay. So you look around and start wandering in a random direction, away from the marketplace and into more of a bit of a residential area, and it takes you a little while to look. But eventually, after about 30 minutes or so of walking, you find an inn called the Fish and the Frog. It is a two-story stone building that's much longer than it is wide. You step inside and find a somewhat jovial crowd. More of them seem to be miners than anything else. Very dusty, very dirty patrons. Filling up the bar itself and a handful of tables. But the bartender there is a matronly-looking dwarven woman. She introduces herself as Sarah and asks you if you want a table or a room or just drinks.
Do you guys want to get a drink first? Just chill out and veg, or do you want to go up? Because I guess it is 9 o'clock. I mean, the magic-y types might need to rest.
I
Jortha,
think we'll have one round of drinks. We'll grab a table, and I'll pay for it in advance. What would it be for the entire table to have a round of beers?
if you're looking for just your standard ale, it would be 3 coppers. We also have some more high-end stouts and various lagers. If you're looking for something a little bit more robust, the range goes
I'll take the
from...
high-end stout, the second one you said. How much can I get for 20 silver?
Oh, for 20 silver, I can get you a pitcher of beer. That should be enough to fill each of your glasses.
This'll do. And 22 will make it a tip for you.
She pours you a very large pitcher of beer in a very nice worked glass pitcher, and hands you that on a tray, as well as, how many are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mugs as well, and says, feel free to take whatever table you want. Will you be needing rooms for the evening as well, I think I heard you say?
We'll get back to you with that one.
Very well, very well. She kind of goes off to some other patrons, and I don't have a map for a different inn, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, pour that beer, Liam.
Very well. As I pour blood, let's see what you found out.
Well,
you can. I'm just going to interject that you can find a table in the back corner, a little bit of a booth that's probably a little bit more quiet that you guys might want to find. You can definitely get something like that, so you can find a nice little quiet corner.
yeah, Blood will be facing the door with his back to the wall.
So what did you find?
Well, they definitely saw
They were this lovely couple, and they're just so cute how much that you could really tell how much he loved her, and he was just looking out for her, and she was so shy. It was really adorable.
Quite sweet.
What does that have to do with Prestor and the Glaive? This is Jortha.
Don't shout his name, please.
Yeah, I am stage whispering.
Okay. Well,
That's canon. She said it.
That's canon. I said it.
From the reports that they were able to find, they don't quite. They know a large individual is the one that attacked Prestor, and they said it was as if he appeared from the shadows of the house. There was no entry, no break-in, nothing. Somehow it just appeared from the shadows of the house, attacked everyone. He managed to escape, our person of interest, and I know the direction of where they entered the Underdark from.
Boy, that's him.
Yeah, and I guess I can give a description of what everything Ona had told, told him, told Ragnar, that told him. So yeah, he's going to give the whole breakdown of exactly where he entered, how long ago it was.
So we're heading to the Underdark next.
Yeah,
Rogark, not Ragnar.
Yeah, Rogark. they haven't seen the large individual again either. It seems as if he kind of disappeared. They believe they might have seen him following into the Underdark, but like I said, this was about 3 weeks ago, and there's
He's
no information.
not the
since.
easiest to track. He may be large, but he knows how to remain hidden.
Well, that's what I said. Well, these people are very good at keeping tabs on just about everything that happens. I guarantee they are tracking our conversation right now, or at least they watched us come in here.
Vulcan, his beer's kind of halfway up to him, and he kind of just looks over. Now, you said they have seen going in the Underdark. What exactly is that?
Well, I've never
look
been
to
there
Veil.
myself, but
Veil, big smile across his face, and he slams both hands on the table and just kind of glares in like wide-eyed and says, "The Underdark.
the fuck
Well,
is people are being loud.
let me tell you about the Underdark." And he goes on to explain the ins and outs and who, the client or the flora and fauna of the Underdark, the people who live there, his half of his people, I should say, because he's half drow. The customs, the history, and he just continues to talk until somebody shuts him up. Or yeah.
And at some point when he's discussing the regime changes over centuries, Blood will just be like, yes, that's they have gone into a place and they've been down there. They've been seen in 3 weeks. So either he's long dead and our friend is long gone, or they have had 3 weeks to travel into the Underdark.
Is it
And they
very
haven't
big?
emerged yet. I've never been there, but apparently didn't it permeate all of Loroupa underground? Or quite a bit of it?
Can I
Caves
ask
and
a,
stuff?
can I ask a real meta question real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does the Underdark count as a different plane of existence, or is it just underground in the material plane?
It's underground in the material plane. It's not another plane of existence. It exists within whatever realm you're currently in. Like in Faerun, it's the same way. It's just this basic gigantic underground labyrinth kingdom of caverns and tunnels and cities and shit, all underground.
Well, Vale, is it very big?
Okay.
Veil kind of looks at Eloise and smiles, out of the side of his mouth, and he says, "Yes, Eloise, it is very big."
Hmm.
And I also suggest, and I reach towards Eloise and kind of slide the goggles of night off of her. I'm assuming they're around the top of her head or somewhere, maybe in a waistcoat.
Not on my head.
Yeah. Okay. So I slide them off of her and I put them over my head, not on my eyes, but I say, and I suggest we all should get a pair of these if you can. And that's my way of telling Eloise, you have borrowed these long enough.
Vulcan kind of is listening to all this and was very attentive for the first time. Really, you might have noticed, Vale, that this is the first time Vulcan's ever been really this attentive to you and the things you've said. But now he's kind of thoughtfully sipping on his beer and now, how exactly are we going to find even a giant shadow in a place that, according to Vale here, is across the entire continent?
We don't have to find the shadow. We just have to find Presslor. We find even remotely close where he is, he'll be being tracked by the giant, and therefore we set off the signal. He comes right to us.
That's another thing. The Underdark is, it's dark.
I understand that. And do you know what the fire will do in the dark?
But
it'll glow.
Yeah, but then again, it's just a fire. The smoke is supposed to be the signal, right?
When there's no ambient light around, if you ever been out on a night when there's almost no other lights around, you can see all the stars, you see?
Yes.
If we're in an area with no other lights, then this light will light up all the smoke, and it will be seen from an even further distance. Because it will be the only light source.
Though.
It will be the only light source, and therefore it will show the color above it.
You might see the fire, but you're not going to see exactly how far. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm wondering if it's going to be more difficult for him to see.
And as these two are bickering back and forth,
yes,
not bickering, yeah. Veil kind of gives Apollyon a look, and I'm assuming at the same time they would cast Prestidigitation to send up some sparks and almost like a firework effect.
Well,
okay.
And do you remember back after the?
We can do this too.
After the Druid Grove, Veil used that fun trick with all the glowing bulbs.
Yes, I also have that as well, and I described dancing lights.
Aren't you supposed to be alone?
Oi?
Well, will he know if you know all of these magic tricks?
I could tell him that it was the other Goliath. He's clearly magical, and he'll be seeing him anyway.
I hope that would work.
Man, it's as good a plan as any we have so far.
Well, the biggest problem is they have a 3-week head start. I mean, I'm hoping we can find him quickly, and he's gonna kind of just sheepishly look over at our new friend. I don't know how much time the town has.
So Veil chimes in and says, I know I spent a lot of time in, pretty much my entire time in the libraries and in the studies, but I know the Underdark pretty well, and from what I've read, I guess you could have me roll on this map, but I'm going to kind of allude that I know all the ins and outs just by studying map after map after map.
I am going to point this part out, Veil, is that from the area that you came from was much, much farther south than where you currently are. You geographically speaking, the area that you came from lies pretty far under the Margarden Federation, and the Margarden Federation is actually where you exited onto the surface, which is where you met Blood and Apollyon initially.
Yep.
So, while you yourself have never been in this area, I will allow you to make a history check at disadvantage because the Underdark's fucking huge. But there is a chance, as studious as you were, that you might know something about the area underneath Morag. So I'm willing to let you make a roll for it. History check at disadvantage.
I mean,
all right. So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was to say, regardless, his arrogance is not going to allow him to not know everything about everything.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying for game mechanics, I just want to see what you actually know.
Yep. So Veil kind of puts his left hand up to his temple and says, "Now, if I recall correctly, and he's explaining where they are." And he will say that he's only traveled here when he was very, very young, so he doesn't remember it in person. However, this is what I remember as far as what I've read, and he rolls a 17 with disadvantage.
Still, that's not bad. What you do know about this region is that the Dwarven societies, when all of Loroupa had to go into the Underdark to survive during the Age of Cataclysm, the dwarves split off into two factions, one keeping closer to the surface while another going deep, deep, deep down into the Underdark. This faction is called the Duergar, and it is known that somewhere in this generalized area of the mountains around Morag, the Duergar do have a society which is constantly at war with the dwarves of Morag.
Okay.
You have seen some maps and things of that nature, and you do know that the dwarves of Morag had lived quite a bit deeper than they currently do now, and there are quite a few, some of them abandoned, some of them still in use, keeps that were created by these dwarves centuries before the current Morag that you are in now existed, and some of those keeps still are in existence in the tunnels far beneath Morag.
Okay.
All right. Well, we need to figure out what we're doing tonight. Do we want to make some more distance and then rest, or take a rest here at this lovely inn?
I mean, it might be a good idea just to take a rest here. Because, I mean, it is pretty late. I mean, it's pushing probably 10 by now with all the talk we've been doing and the walk that we did.
Yeah, I'd say
Right.
so.
Then step 1, we rest here. Step 2, we move on out to the Underdark. Step 3, we take us a Goliath.
I wonder if the Conclave would have any maps leading us to those keeps, those abandoned keeps. Maybe give us a little bit of a head start.
Liam, when you started counting out steps,
Oh, God.
Shortha just looks at you, and pure venom is in her eyes. She just kind of sighs.
Do you have something to say, love?
I am just appreciating how well you are doing in this, Liam. This is exactly what I expected. And without another word, she gets up, walks away, and smashes the glass against your head.
She's gonna have to roll an attack. I'm not gonna let her hit me.
Oh, I know. I'm pulling up her sheet right now. Let's see. It's an improvised attack.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how
This will be interesting.
works.
Blood's going to get himself into trouble here in a second after this
I think it'd be the same modifier as her unarmed strike.
Probably. That's my guess. I'm just going to roll it as an unarmed strike. And that was an 11. So it goes swings it. She swings at your head, misses completely, knocks the hat off. The glass just goes flying out of her hand, smashes against a wall, and she does not stop. She just walks.
Detecting some
Probably because
unaddressed-
inaccuracy like that, I was able to steal the glaive so easily.
Oh, I wasn't going to go there. I
So,
was going to say there was sexual tension between you, but okay, let's go there.
So, Liam, as she does that and walks, Vale's hand comes up and points, and you've seen this 100 times before, and he looks at you, waiting for you to give him the okay as he's about to toll the dead.
I want to give him a little head shake and drink my beer. There's no threat here.
And Vale kind of lowers his hand slowly but reluctantly.
She's definitely walking wobbly away.
Is she leaving the bar, or?
She walks up to the bar, actually. Okay. You can see her standing there speaking to the woman behind it right now.
All right.
Well, all right. Now that she's out of the way. She's gonna be quite a bitch this entire time. Just letting you all know. That's kind of her MO. Especially when she thinks she's right and she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's going to be a bitch. Anyway, just put up with it. She'll be out of our hair in no time. Or we'll kill her.
Vulcan.
I'm gonna start poking Liam in the head. You're like, that
was a joke.
Not a nice way to talk about a friend.
She's not exactly a friend.
She was.
She's also
She was
a
a
woman
friend.
who not too long ago watched most of her people die. And you cannot deny you are the literal cause of that, boy. You can at least understand she's not in the right frame of mind, right?
Here, and I'm gonna hand him my whatever stein of whatever we're drinking. Just like, here you go. And I'm just gonna keep poking Liam in the head to hope that it distracts him.
I do a check to see how many patrons are watching
I'm
us.
distracted.
Yes, absolutely.
but
Go ahead. Blood.
It's not Eloise. It's more that Voken keeps calling me boy, but I'm just gonna keep it silent for now.
That's 28 for perception to see if anybody is definitely watching us. Oh, they're watching us.
There are a few people watching you, but not as many as you thought, as you think.
Guys, I get it. Tensions are running high. We've had a long
Understand tensions are high, but she doesn't know how to keep her cool in an intense scenario.
We definitely have to talk to her about that. But can we refrain from being the center of attention?
Fine by me. If you want to grab a room here tonight, I'll go talk to the bartender.
Yeah, we should probably... I mean, shit, at this point, I'd say we sleep somewhere else, but it's just too late. Let's just get a couple rooms.
I'll go to the barkeep. How much for, what do we got? Seven people?
Well, 6 now.
We'll do 4 rooms. Or 3 rooms, I guess. She's gonna take care of herself. That's fine by me. I was kind of hoping she'd do that anyway.
She has gone upstairs by this point. Yes, as you walk away, Liam, and head over to the bar, she is gone. You said you're going to get 3 rooms, so that is. Let's see. That comes out to 3 silver each, or I'm sorry, 3 gold each.
3 gold each. Done.
3 gold each.
For each room.
I'm paying for it. You guys don't got to worry about it.
Vale gives you a nod of approval and thanks.
Voken, while Liam's up at the bar, he leans over to you, Eloise, and he says, "I'm going to go and talk to that girl up there. See if I can get her mind in the right frame."
That's good. You're always so good at talking about, especially when someone's upset. You're really good at that.
Oh, thank you, Dragonfly. You gonna be okay down here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Maybe
We're always good.
Maybe let's do what Blood here says, and let's try to keep a low profile for the rest of the night. What do you say?
I don't know what that means. But tomorrow morning, I don't know if we know enough about this guy to scry on him, but maybe we can try scrying for Elvis. Maybe we can find him, but I don't know. Should I prepare to be able to scry, or should I prepare to be able? Because I think I figured out how to cure wounds on a bunch of us at the same time. So I don't know which one we should do.
Unless we actually get like a physical description of him, I don't think we're going to be able to scry on him. Unless anybody here knows what he looks like.
I just have the basic info that they gave me.
I'm going to turn around and kind of yell over to Liam. Liam, do you know what he looks like?
There's quite a few people who just look up and look over at Eloise.
Unless you have a poster of him.
Wait, do you?
No.
Oh.
Vale says, I picture him in shiny stones and tassels.
Big old
or like some
chops,
velour.
maybe.
Like fuzzy, like soft to touch.
Wear leather jackets with no shirts on underneath, that kind of thing. Oh.
So like Apollyon?
Ironically, yes. But
Hell yeah.
Vulcan just kind of chuckles to himself as he's standing up, and he pats Eloise on his head. And he says, "You have a good night tonight, girl." And
You too.
he heads over to the bar, and as you're paying Liam, he leans forward next to the bartender and whispers for her to come over. You hear him asking what room Jortha went into. He nods at you obliviously and wanders up to the next room.
Bow, 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 bow.
20 more silver, grab another pitcher.
I can be low, whatever you guys were talking about. I didn't say his name.
Hey, how much have you had to drink?
None. I gave my mug to up there.
She did.
Oh.
I come back to the table with another pitcher.
Alyssa has also had nothing to drink.
He Blood's like, I would have assumed you had something.
No.
All right.
Also,
yeah, just
the times you have seen me drink, has it ever had an effect on me? No.
I don't know. You're kind of wild and kooky all the time.
It's fun that way.
Maybe she's always drunk.
Very possible. Very possible. I mean, Liam's always drunk. Nobody questions him. You know, women empowerment movement. They can be drunk too.
Liam is what they call a functioning alcoholic.
Enough said.
Yeah, so let's just get finish up your drinks, get some sleep. I'd almost suggest we do watches tonight, but shit.
Well, I mean, as long as we can lock the doors, usually we're okay.
I think watches would be a good idea.
Have you ever seen a locked door stop me?
Then we have Jareth.
Yes, Jareth is a good centurion.
Yep, and I'm just gonna scritch his cheeks.
Yeah, how much have you given him to drink tonight, too, though?
He
one of his little owl eyes might be sinking at the bottom right by now.
Alcohol doesn't hurt, Jareth. I'm just gonna play with his beak while he kind of nips.
Yeah, kind of snaps at it.
How about it, Eloise? Would you like to take a watch with me tonight?
Sure.
All right, we'll take second watch.
I will take what are there? 3 watches or 4? I can't remember.
4 watches, 2 hours each.
Okay, I'll take Well, usually I do first and second, or second and third.
You can do third and fourth.
Yeah, take third and fourth. Go crazy.
I'll do the only reason why I don't want to do fourth is because I need my my time for the trance, and usually I do it at the end.
He does his spells beforehand. So do first and second. You guys do third. Blood will do fourth.
So
I can take fourth watch too. Apollyon needs to get up early and do those sit-ups and get buff again. We've had too much time off.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look a little flabby, Apollyon.
I mean, you were fighting each other literally a day ago.
I was going to say,
but...
Apple, didn't we all just have a huge all-out brawl this morning?
No, we didn't. We all got here and we've had a lovely weekend.
That was just practice for the real thing.
Oh God! Everybody, can we go to bed now?
I need to train so I can fight Grovy Bear.
He's just asking with that sad cat look. He's like, "Can we just go to bed?" So
I'm just gonna go over and kind of wiggle your ears, oh, you're so adorable when you do that.
Just stop talking, please. And he's just here. He might start purring. He's like, "Stop that." Whoa, we don't like that. Well, we don't like that.
Oh, well, it's not any sort of indication about you as a person. It's you have this nice little nerve cluster right here at the base of your ear, and
Oh, I
What?
know about the nerve cluster. Trust me. We all know about the nerve cluster. But what I'm saying is, we only like it when other tabaxi do it. It's kind of our thing.
Oh, okay.
It's called
Sorry.
yiffing.
I didn't.
Don't fucking with the yiff party. No, none of that stuff.
I didn't mean to do anything offensive. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
guys.
Minotaurs do clopping.
Oh God, let's just go, please. He's just gonna he doesn't even want to roll a stealth check this time. He's just walking in shame to the fucking stairs.
Well, you do have 3 rooms to divide amongst the 6 remaining people. So who's bunking with whom?
I would assume Eloise will bunk with Vulcan,
Probably.
and then maybe Blood and Apollyon and Veil and Liam.
That's fine.
You got it.
I mean, I
Works for
imagine
me.
if Eloise tries to bunk with anyone else, Vulcan's just going to come into the room anyways and sleep on the floor. So-
Probably.
I mean, he's a hippie. He gives her privacy when she wants it.
Yeah, but he doesn't trust these guys yet.
Now that's true. That is true. You do have a point there. He definitely doesn't. That's fair. But
When
anyway,
you bring your dad along on your quests.
yeah,
I mean,
bring your dad along on your quest.
The one that he might trust the most shot him out of the air?
Yeah.
Because one of them's after his daughter, one brings the dead back, and the other's Apollyon. Oh,
Who was a big goo monster,
Yeah, and he
gooey
really
eyeball monster for
tried
a
to kill
while.
us all, so... Alright, bedtime.
Yeah.
Eloise is
Exactly.
great at picking her friends, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
But anyway, you all can make your way up to your rooms. Eloise, Vulcan's gone for a little while, but he does eventually peek his head out and start knocking on doors until he eventually finds you.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she just... Remember what you were describing for me when you found the Druid Grove and all the druids there be made into zombies?
Yeah.
That's what she's going through right now, Dragonfly. But the people who did that Green Dragon, are the people she's currently hanging out with, drinking beer with, and waiting on them to, do what they said. So she's having a large range of emotions. I'm sure you understand.
I do. I cried in front of blood.
I feel like that boy is somebody who could use a good cry too.
Oh, they all could.
Maybe.
Hear from the other room. The fuck?
Make a perception check for that.
It's nighttime. We're whispering to each other.
It's
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
He can hear what's happening in another campaign.
probably. Yeah, he probably could hear that one. But he does. But Vulcan does say, "I convinced her to give us another day. See if the trail actually pans out."
Well, I mean, they're 3 weeks ahead of us. I don't know if a day is going to... Unless we can scry on him. But I mean, we don't have a lot of information to go off of.
You do have a point there, Dragonfly. I feel like we need to find out where this Presslore guy would have gone if he was heading to the Underdark. Now, I have been kind of thinking about some things when you said doing scrying, and I'm not sure if we'd be able to find somebody we've never seen before, but if we can figure out where he is, I do have a bit of an idea.
Oh?
I can cast a spell that makes us the wind for all intents and purposes.
Ooh.
We can walk like the wind, and using that, we can travel quite far.
That would... Yeah. I mean, we could even go through
I'm
the
not there.
cracks in the wall. We wouldn't even have to need, like, an open path.
But traveling fast is all well and good, but if we don't know where we're going, we just be traveling aimlessly.
Yeah.
So we need to find a direction, a map, something like that.
I mean, we know where he went into the Underdark. We just have no idea. I mean, maybe if we go to his house, maybe we can find clues as to if he knew about the Underdark or not. Or what he knew about the Underdark. Maybe there's someone he knows there.
It's a good idea as any, Dragonfly.
Hmm.
Perhaps we can find out tomorrow where that boy lived.
Yeah. I think that information should be easy enough. I think we have a pretty good idea of where he lives.
Oh, do you know you know where where the area he lived at least?
Alyssa doesn't remember, but I know that we've been told the area that he lived in.
Yeah, you pointed out a big tower.
I mean, I pointed out a lot of interesting features.
But Alyssa has terrible memory. Which works because Eloise doesn't really, focus on details. She's not a detail-oriented kind of person.
That's true, but maybe somebody else might know.
Hopefully, we'll ask everyone in the morning. Or I mean, clearly Blood's awake. We could ask him now.
Yeah, what you think, Blood from a Stone? I know you can hear me from the other side of this wall.
They told me where he lived. Yes.
See, I knew it.
Who's bunking with Blood, by the way? Just out of
Apollyon. Apollyon.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was with Veil.
No, Liam.
No, that's me.
Fair enough.
All right. My old pal, Blood from a Stone.
Well, you Vulcan goes and settles in for the evening, laying down on the bed. Says, I'm just going to turn in, Dragonfly. You have yourself a good night.
You too.
Who was taking first watch? If you are you taking? You
said Veil is
first and second.
Yep.
Where do you take your watch, Veil? Are you just hanging out in your room?
So where are we positioned? Are we all in?
All of you are in the upstairs area of the inn, the second floor of the inn. You have 3 rooms total. You and Liam are sharing the first. Apollyon and Blood's the second. Eloise and Vulcan the third. Jortha is in one of her own farther down on the hall. You can just hang out in your room for the first 4 hours of the night, or you can go down to the inn itself and hang out down there. It's really up to you.
Okay, so Veil is going to post up, grab a chair out of the room, and kind of sit with his back against the door of the room that Liam is sleeping in. I'll have Jareth at the end of the hall, like towards the top of the stairs, and I'm picturing like a hallway with doors on either side. One end is the stairs, the other end maybe a window at the end of the hall.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some rafters up above you, made of wood that Jareth could easily hang out in, keeping an eye on down the stairs.
Yep. So that's what Jareth's doing, and then Veil will be with his back against the door, but he's turned a little bit facing the window more than the stairs, but he could still see the stairs from his left.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll perception.
All right. And let's see, perception is an 8. Because he is also looking through that spell book that he found a while back, and he's trying to copy some spells.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll your Arcana check, where I see if I can find that handout.
All right. Ooh. It's a 26. So if to save you some time, I have the 3 spells that you said that that you told me. I'm not sure if there were more in there or not.
No, just those. There are other spells, but they are spells you already know. These are the 3 spells you don't know that are in the spell book.
Okay, and that was.
I'm going to say that with your 26 Arcana, over the course of those 4 hours, because Unseen Servant is a first level, so that would take an hour. I can't remember what Gust of Wind is offhand. It's either a first or second level spell, I think.
Okay.
Unseen Servant is perfect for Veil.
Jareth rolled a 17 for perception, by the way, looking down the stairs.
Yeah, I was right. It's a second level. So in the 4 hours that you're working there, you do have paper to copy these as well, right?
Yes, I should. Let me double check on my inventory.
Because I believe it's 50 gold worth of paper and ink per spell level. So you'd need 300 or 150 gold worth of paper and ink to do all 2 of those.
Okay, so is parchment, is that not what I need? I think we had this discussion before.
Yeah, we had this discussion before, and I thought you bought some, because it's basically you need special ink and paper to copy the spell. It's basically you're spending gold to copy these into your spell book, but you just buy the paper and the ink. Do you not have it on your character sheet?
So on my character sheet, I have ink, an ink pen, and parchment, but I don't think those are what I need. So maybe I don't have any, because it would have been down lower on the list.
Yeah,
that's all right. I'll just take time practicing the incantations or whatever, and when I get the chance, I will be able to. Maybe that will reduce the time of being able to copy them into my spell book when I have paper and ink.
Yeah, because I'm looking on like the loot list and the different things, and I'm not seeing any in those either.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind just practicing and going over the stuff, and then I'll make a note to grab that the next chance I get.
Okay,
it would certainly be on his list. I wouldn't have put it on the back.
Okay. But yeah, just remember to stop by some place to buy some ink and parchment for spell crafting, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Okay. Right. So you do spend those 4 hours reading the spell books, working out in your mind what you need to do to copy them into your spell book. And with the 26 Arcana, I'm going to say, yeah, you could probably do it a little bit quicker the next chance you have. We'll reduce it by an hour. So it'll take you 2 hours to do 2 spells instead of 3.
Perfect.
Jareth, for his time, is keeping a much more watchful eye than you are. You're focused completely on the spell book. And he does watch as some patrons come up from the bar below, go into their rooms. There's one room at the far end that has a woman go down into the bar, come up about half an hour or so later with one guy. They're in there for about an hour. The man leaves. A little later, the woman leaves. About an hour later, she comes up again, this time with a different guy. You get the idea. But apart from that, for those 4 hours, nobody comes and bothers you. Although you are given kind of odd looks every now and again by people coming through the hall to their rooms. There's a 3rd floor as well. And more people are kind of piling in, taking rooms for the night. And every time they pass you, they just kind of give you this odd look of, why is this guy sitting in the hallway? But other than that, no one really bothers you.
Okay.
So that's the first 2 watches. Who is taking the 3rd?
I just want to say before I turn in for my trance, I'm going to reanimate or reassert control over the zombies in the portable hole. That's going to be. I'll burn. Let's just put them up here so. Works. I don't know why I didn't click. Oh, because I didn't do a level. That's why. Say I did 6 of them. And then I'm going to cast into my Ring of Spell Storing 1 Sickening Radiance and 1 Shield.
Is he frozen?
Ooh.
Am I
Matt, you there?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
muted or okay? I was like, is he? Can you not hear us?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was muted. But yeah, you cast your spells into your Ring of Spell Storing, and settle in for the night. So who was taking third watch?
I believe Eloise and I had the next watch.
Okay, so Veil, as he comes back into his room, wakes up Liam before heading off to bed, and you can go and wake up Eloise.
Yep, going knocking on the door, getting her out.
When you open the door, all you see is Vogan asleep on the bed, and then this little wolf cub draped over his neck, and then jump off and turn and ends up back into a dragonborn.
Oh, you're just full of surprises, Mia Sorolta. Time for a watch.
He takes up a lot of room. Besides, his neck is nice and warm.
Oh,
And it
my
vibrates
judge,
'cause he
that
snores
sounded
real loud.
comfy.
Like a full
So-
body massage.
So yeah, he'll probably guide her down into the main area, because who would take watch in a hallway? That's just weird. So we'll go down there and we'll take up a table, and probably after a little bit of awkward silence, Liam is going to look to Eloise, and in an almost Eloise-like rant back at her that only she can understand, he says, So, I've been meaning to ask something of you for a while now. So I wanted to ask you back on the boat, but you hadn't read the letter yet. And then we got over into Laverin, and then the whole thing was Sigmund and her, the thing and the clay golems, and then I almost died and stuff like that. And then there were the goblins with the horses. And then we finally got down to the dream witness, and you had read the letter, but then we were pretty much in water the entire time. And then we finally got up into the mountains, and you were a mountain goat for a little bit. And then after a while, Vale did his old vision quest thing, and we finally got down to Bradfordshire. And then the wraiths, and then we found that Apollyon was trying to kill us the whole time, and we saved him, we made it all the way to here, and now we're inside of a mountain, and I was kind of wondering, would you like to dance?
Right now?
Hey, right now.
Okay. I mean, we didn't really get to at Sigmund's party.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking, and now you had read the letter, and I'd like to dance with you.
That'd be fun. What are we gonna dance to?
Oh, we don't need music. If you're not a very good dancer, then music only screws you up, so we can go at any speed we like.
That's probably better because, I mean, I don't know any of the dances that like people seem to know. Dancing back home was just kind of fun.
Well, just like anything, you need to be taught. I'll take her hand and pull her in and start doing one step at a time, teaching her just a simple trot.
I feel like this needs a performance check from Liam and a dexterity saving throw from Eloise.
Yep.
I do believe we agreed if we were dancing that I could also make a dex save.
Yes, I think so.
Somebody's been thinking about this for a while.
So on performance, it's a 17, but my dex save, I think, was high enough to save both of us from her tail.
Well, yeah, so with a 17, Eloise, he pulls you in and begins showing you these steps. And he's quite coordinated and seems to know how to dance very well and seems to be able to communicate very easily to you the steps to follow along. And as he's guiding you along, your tail kind of begins to move along with it. And you're going side to side together, and your tail just begins to curl and wrap around both of your legs at the same time. You trip and begin to fall backwards, but as that happens, he reaches out, grasps you, and pulls you back toward him, saving you from a tumble.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure this stupid thing out.
Quite all right, and then I turn it into a spin and set right back up, and we're back to center. I kind of imagine, I don't think Eloise has directly said anything about her talk with the other Dragonborn.
What is happening?
Like, that's
Wow.
all right. Very nice, very nice. I kind of assume Eloise, even though we haven't talked about her, I wasn't there when she had her discussion with the Dragonborn about her tail and stuff like that. But with all the walking we've been doing, she's probably gone around and told each individual member of our group, one at a time, exactly the conversation word for word that it happened. Am I wrong in assuming that?
Of course.
Okay. So I've been thinking about what that story about the tail and your parents. Are you certain that your parents are your parents? I mean, if the other one had wings before she gave, I forget, birth to a tailed dragon like my good friend the Aussie, maybe your parents had tails or maybe wings. Maybe your parents weren't the tailless ones that you knew.
Well, then, I don't know. But then how would I have ended up with them, and why would they have been so angry that I was born with a tail?
Well, I was an orphan at birth. Everyone seemed to be mad at me for one reason or another, much like right now. For almost no reason at all, much like right now. So,
Right.
you know, sometimes people, when they adopt children, they expect to see something, and if they don't get it, then they aren't happy. Just a theory.
I don't know. I mean, nobody ever said anything about me not being there, or them not being my parents.
Well,
I mean, they're not my parents, right? Because they didn't come after me after I fell off the mountain. I thought
you
it was
have
my
a nice
parent.
father figure now.
He's more than just a figure. He is my father. He's my affair.
Well, then you are very lucky indeed. Some of us don't have that.
Well, he's pretty great. And I know how great he is, and I'm more than happy to share him with whoever needs him.
Oh, I don't exactly know what's gonna go down once we do meet up with my old master. But I enjoyed every second of getting to know you.
Why are you saying it like you're saying goodbye?
Seen him kill much stronger men than me.
Yeah,
And
but you're not alone.
I've been wanting more training before I got to see him. I'm just not ready.
I don't think anybody's ever ready. Life just sort of happens. And you either go with the flow of the river and see where it takes you, or you exhaust yourself trying to fight it and then drown.
Well, you can't fight the flow of a river. I heard that from a Doc Strange.
I've seen all sorts of animals try to get out of a river they fell into, and they kept trying to fight the current, and they end up getting tired and drowning.
I'd like to point out that even though your tail tried to kill you that one time earlier, the rest of this dance is going pretty well.
Hey, yeah.
I don't think it's trying to kill you. I think it's just overpowering. You need to make friends with it instead of thinking of it as trying to kill you somehow.
Well, I think I'm ready to admit that maybe it's both.
Well, maybe we could keep up with the dance lessons, and maybe your tail will enjoy the dance as well eventually.
That'd be great. Is there anyone else in the tavern, or are we just two dicks dancing in the middle of a floor right now?
You're kind of two dicks dancing in the middle of the floor right now. There is a bard that was going to get off work when the two of you came down because, I mean, this is the third watch, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning right now. Probably at this point, as you all dance in there. There's a few patrons. Most of them are drunk out of their mind. A few of them kind of cheering you a little bit. Yeah, you dance with them. You dance with that pretty lady there. Come on, yeah. And the bartender behind the bar is clearly cleaning up and like just looking at everybody like, get the fuck out. I want to go. I want to clean up. But, yeah.
And then Apollyon comes down the stairs for his watch. Says, "Look at you two lovebirds. Ain't it cute?"
I don't know, is it?
And the bartender's just like, oh, God, there's another one of them.
All right, don't worry, I'll take it from here.
Yeah, apparently
start,
we're
like-
pissing everyone off. We'll go get blood out.
If Apollyon already left, Blood's been awake.
Yeah. Probably. I'm sure he's heading down. As Eloise, you and Liam separate and make your way up the stairs. Here comes Blood from a Stone coming down the stairs as you're going up.
But
Hello.
can I take your room?
Sure.
Vulcan kind of takes up the whole bed.
Okay. All right. Is she walking in front of Liam?
They probably
I don't know.
split the hallway when you came down, so they went on either side of you.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, if she was first, he's gonna be like, he goes, "She's a lady."
They're walking side by side, but sure.
That's all I expect. Can I smell desperation and shame on Liam?
Make a perception check.
Liam doesn't have a single whiff of desperation on him right now.
He won't do that. He's like, I mean, he'll probably, I mean, because he see them. He knows there's something going on. I remember, but he's
You
not.
take
he
a
doesn't
big
care.
whiff of Liam, who hasn't had a shower in quite a while. See what happens.
He
Yes.
doesn't care. He's just like, he goes, oh, yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'll just say good night, Mia Sorolta, and then try and slip a quick cheek kiss.
Do you allow a cheek kiss, Eloise?
Yeah, no. Eloise is so surprised by the cheek kiss she's going to turn probably like as close to pink as a white dragonborn can get. And
Unfortunately,
then
Liam probably doesn't see it because he's doing the same thing, turning the opposite direction back to his room.
yep. And then I'm gonna go into Blood and Apollyon's room and then close the door, go over to the bed, and then fall backwards and just starfish.
Which is exactly what Vulcan was doing in the other bed.
Yep.
They are two of a pair.
But he no longer has a wolf cub to keep his neck warm, so
That's
we'll see
true.
what happens.
He probably wakes up a little bit chilly in the morning, and it's like, where did Eloise go? I don't. And it probably takes a while before he gets up. But the last watch also goes by without issue. Is there anything Apollyon and Blood you want to do during your watch?
He
Oh
might.
yeah, we're
Okay.
helping the bartender like clear all the tables and chairs to one side of the room. We like sweep the whole place, and then we like set them up as like a little obstacle course, so I can do some aerobics, and Blood can like hide behind stuff and try to shoot little arrows at me.
Who's this we? You got a turd in your pocket you're talking to? What? Blood ain't doing it.
The bartender, the matron of the inn, is very surprised when Apollyon just grabs a broom from the corner and starts sweeping and clearing plates away. And at first she was like about to protest, like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then she realizes he's cleaning up the place, and she's just like, "Oh,
He's just just be like, just let it go.
Move the stuff over here. Here you go. Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's move everything towards the wall. I need a big open area to do all my exercises this morning.
Are you gonna put that back when you're done, Mr. Minotaur?"
Yeah, we'll see.
Yes, he will.
Yes, he will. That's the answer I was looking for. Okay, you go ahead.
Blood will just sit at the bar. He'll maybe get like a tea and like see if there's something for breakfast, and then just kind of just watch out for things. After a little while, he'll go upstairs and check the second and third floors because he doesn't know the other patrons. He might just kind of like as if he's walking back to his room. But yeah, he's not helping.
Meanwhile, Apollyon's like on the floor on his back with like a table balanced on each foot and like one on each horn. And he's like lifting them up and down doing reps.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an athletics check, Apollyon, and Blood. Make a perception check as you go upstairs to check the upper levels.
This has been the most fun watch ever.
We are all a bunch of just
24.
Oh yeah, that's a 19 on athletics.
So yeah, Apollyon, you are just massively impressive, and the bartender watches for quite a while as you're doing all your reps and exercises throughout the last hour of your watch, and she's just like, "Oh my god." She's a little bit in awe of you, and you can see this on her face as she does take Blood from a Stone's order and makes you tea, and the kitchen is starting up probably towards the end of your watch, but you can order a meal at that point, Blood. Now, when you go upstairs with your 24, about an hour through your watch, you do go upstairs and check the second and third level. And on the third level, you do spot somebody crouched in the corner, picking one of the locks at the far edge of the hallway.
Are we on the third floor?
You're on the second.
All right.
It is a cloaked individual, very short. You're going to guess either possibly halfling or gnome based on the size. And they're just high enough so that they can sit there and work at that lock. They haven't noticed you just yet because they're more focused on the lock than anything else.
Are they struggling with the lock?
Are you watching?
Yeah,
like taking
I'll
a moment to watch. Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check while you're at it.
You'll hide and watch.
Oh shit! That's 32.
Yeah, you are one with the night, and you just crouch there at the stairwell, watching as this little halfling takes about a couple minutes to fumble with the lock before the halfling opens the door and steps inside.
All right. Now, I guess you said that was at the end of the hall?
The end of the hall on the third floor.
Was our room on the second floor also at the end of the hall?
Yeah, and in relative speaking, it's probably above. It's it would be like catty corner to your room. So imagine it up one and then over to the left, the other side. So it's not above your room; it's above the room opposite you.
Okay, even like I guess, and that's not Liam's Veil.
No.
Like it's none of our rooms.
All three
even
of you.
Jortha.
Yes. No.
What
It
about
is not.
Jortha?
No.
Okay.
No. It is not. It is. There's no relation to your group whatsoever.
All right. Because all right. I was gonna like whisper, try the tumblers. You know, it's like you gotta. If he was having extra trouble, I was gonna scare the shit out of him. But I'll keep that up in the brain bank, and we'll go from there. He'll just remember that.
Investigate! Caw!
It's not his room. It's none of ours. We don't have to worry about that.
Anesthetics in chat right now, sending us bits. Hey, say hi everybody to Anesthetic.
Hey.
Okay. I think this is a good place to take a break for this evening. It's 8:35. I just noticed. So we will be back in about 10 minutes, folks. Stay tuned. Howdy, everybody. We are back from break. And when we last left off, the party had just taken a long rest at the Fish and the Frog Inn, and they're getting up now, having their breakfast. So all of you meet up once again. Oh,
I
I'm
just want
sorry.
to say real quick.
Yep.
That's right. So when Liam and I wake up in the room, the skeleton has made its way out of the portable hole and is just kind of standing over Liam's sleeping body, just watching him sleep.
Fucking skeleton. I like it. You wake up, Liam, to see that skeleton with a broken jaw and missing teeth and half broken up, charred black, horribly disfigured skeleton of a goblin just leering down at you when you wake up.
What are you doing out to your hole? They'll kill you on sight and then they'll kill... They're gonna kill us all! Get back in the hole! What are you doing?
He reluctantly kind of clicks at him and climbs back in the hole.
In this hole, I imagine you're still kind of asleep, and the hole was like just draped off of your body along the floor there a little bit.
Yeah, Vale's definitely in a deep trance. He did not notice the portable hole being shifted.
Way open. Yeah. So you come out of your trance to find the portable hole just kind of draped over your body onto the floor and laid out on the floor, and just have enough time to your eyes come clear and focus just in time to see that goblin skeleton look at you before jumping into the hole.
And Vale looks at Liam and says, "The hell are you doing?"
The hell am I doing? He came out. I woke up to him over me. What do you mean? What? Well, this is the second time we've had trouble with that damn hole. You understand that, yes?
Yes, I understand. Holes are trouble.
Well, that's two. That's twice as many times as I wanted it to happen, as I didn't want it to happen even the first time. And there are three types of people in this world: those that can count and those that can't. And I walk downstairs.
And Vale holds up his fingers in a 1, 2, and then tilts his head to the side as he puts up the third fingers and just looks after where Liam was just standing a moment ago, shakes his head and follows him down.
Vulcan's coming out of his room about the same time and sees the two of you walking out, and Liam coming out first, a little bit red-faced, stomping his way downstairs. And Vulcan just kind of shakes his head as his eyes meets yours, Vale, and he makes his way down to the common room of the inn as well. The rest of you who are up and already breakfasting in the morning. Breakfast is provided as part of the cost of your stay. The offerings are porridge with fruit, fried eggs, bacon and potatoes, or some country-style flapjacks that she tells you is actually made from walnut flour.
Ooh.
Yeah, gotta carb load those flapjacks.
The sauce they serve with it is very, very sweet, Apollyon. Sweeter than any you've had before, and a very light golden color. Not like the maple syrup you're familiar with. Inquiring about it, they tell you that's actually a syrup made from sorghum, something they grow
delicious.
down here.
My thanks to the chef. This is really gonna set me off today. I'll be ready for anything.
Vale orders the potatoes and fried eggs, and as they're sitting out in front of him, he casts Mage Hand to feed himself with the Mage Hand.
Are you using the silverware, or are you just picking it up with the Mage Hand?
He will use the silverware, very dainty-like with the Mage Hand, and feeding him bite at a time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're just seeing this Mage Hand picking up a fork and very daintily bringing it up to Vale's face. And it's a little weird, but like Vulcan's definitely watching you and shakes his head a little bit.
Does Jortha come downstairs?
She has not yet.
Mm-hmm.
What room was she in, Ather? Maybe I can go check on her.
She's at the last door on the right, Dragonfly.
Okay. I'll go upstairs. Go to the last door on the right.
Okay, and you knock on the door.
Mhm.
It's quiet.
Jortha? Jortha, we're getting ready to make plans to go find... You know, because I'm not supposed to say his name. And then I'm just going to try the doorknob.
The doorknob is locked, and you kind of shake it a little bit, and shake it a little bit more. Finally, you hear a click, and the door opens, and she...
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
She looks out from a little bit of a crack and says, "Oh, it's you. I shall be along soon enough."
Okay.
She seems rumpled. I'm not going to make you roll a perception check, but you can definitely tell that her eyes seem sunken in and rather red. And she is a half elf, so she does have some pretty big eyes, so it's easy to tell that she doesn't look like she's sleeping too well.
Not going to ask if you're okay, because I know, after what happened in the Druid Grove, I know you're not okay. But, we are a bunch of... Well, we're a bunch of assholes, really. There's no getting around that. But everyone seems to be a good person for the most part, and we are really trying to help. I know it doesn't seem like it all the time.
Make a persuasion check, Eloise. As the half elf kind of raises an eyebrow a little bit.
20.
The half elf kind of sighs a little bit. And she says, "I suppose I do not have a choice. Or any sort of call as far as how nice or how much of an asshole you are." Fate has decreed that you are my people's hope for ending the scourge that has hit my monastery. So
Sorry.
I suppose I must deal with what is in front of me.
Well, I mean, my affair's pretty great. I hope talking to him helped last night. If you ever need to borrow him some more, you can totally do that. That's okay. I know he's the awesomest, so.
What is that word you use to speak of the tall one?
Oh. It's the Druidic word for father.
I did pick up you calling him father. It is good you have someone like him with you. His talk did help me. At least it is good to know others has seen things that I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wanted me to I grew up with him. It was just us in the middle of, well, nowhere really. And he wanted me to learn about the world. And so I went out and I walked for a long, long time, and I walked 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 all alone. And then eventually I ran into these bunch, and then we went to the Druid Grove that that Arthur told me about to go see, and a green dragon had gone there and killed them all and experimented on them, and I don't know, turned them into zombies and infected them with something. I don't know it, but I understand what it's like to be people, even if you don't really know them, but they're your people, and to see them cut down by something you can't. That, anyways, all I'm saying is that
There is
these guys.
no thing more difficult than the sudden loss, especially when you are helpless to do nothing about it.
Yeah. But these guys helped me get through it, and they helped me to, I guess, well, yeah. Anyways, they helped me through it, and I hope that you'll give us a chance to help you through it too, because we really are trying to help. We just, I mean, I know I'm not the most, focused person. I get distracted really easily. I mean, like, there's so many cool things and I'm seeing them for like the first time, and it's so awesome. But like, I get it that we're you're a really focused person, and I know that can be frustrating. I just hope that you can.
I just know that time is of the essence if we want to save what little people we have left.
Well, me and Arthur were talking about that last night, and I think maybe if we're going to talk, I'm going to bring it up downstairs with the guys, but I think maybe if we go to, its house, then maybe we can find if he had any friends or where he might have gone, because where we're going is a really big place, according to Veil, so, like, maybe we can narrow it down a little bit, I guess. And Athel was talking about how he has this really awesome way that maybe we can move really fast. So hopefully we can cut down on some of the search time, because I mean 3 weeks is a really big head start, and we should be talking about this with everyone.
Perhaps you are right, Eloise. Perhaps we go downstairs now.
Great. And I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna kind of like go to pat her shoulder. if she doesn't react to that, I'm just going to go in for the hug.
It's more awkward once you wrap your arms around her because she's definitely stiff side-arming for most of it. But as the hug lingers longer than she's definitely comfortable with, she eventually pats your back and says, "Thank you. Yeah, let's go downstairs and discuss our next move."
I'm so hungry. Let's go.
You just grab her by the arm and yank and pull her out the door, leaving the door wide open behind her, and she's just protesting as you drag her downstairs.
Yep. And I'm holding her hand, and I'm going to swing her hand.
God, this poor woman. And and you do drag her downstairs with a very bemused but slightly irritated look on her face as you drag her over to the table and pushes her in front of the rest of the group. And Jortha does not really look at you, Liam, at all, but sits down next to Vulcan, between Vulcan and Eloise.
I doubt I'd notice because I wouldn't look up for her.
Probably.
Okay. So this is an idea that it's an idea that I shared with. Anyways, so what if we go to that guy's house and see if we can find, maybe he knew someone where we're going, and maybe he had a friend that could help him hide. So maybe we should look for clues. Because, Vale just said it's a really big place where we're going. And so, I don't know. Am I just talking out of my tail here? Is this a bad idea?
If there's any proof that he has friends in the Underdark, that would be an excellent boon to our progress. I'd say it's worth a shot.
Anybody who has a less biased opinion?
Well, he does. His building still has lots of guards, even though, who, the tall one, did not kill everyone in it. There's still plenty of guards in his castle. We can't just stroll in there.
Come on, can't we just flash our conclave cred? Say we're investigating the disappearance?
I believe that's what they have the Red Guard for.
Why would the Conclave be investigating the disappearance? They're a research organization.
Yeah,
researching what the shadowy thing might be.
That's right.
I don't believe they will let us in.
The moment you guys are talking about the researching, investigating, Vulcan looks over and says, "Well, if you're looking for somebody who's investigating, what about those folks they mentioned was looking into the murders? These the Red Guard people."
Yeah, the Red Guard. Would they be friendly to us?
Is anybody? He looks at you. He looks at you, Liam.
No, it's never stopped me before, to be fair.
I think they'll talk to us since we're members of the Conclave.
I don't talk to city guards. They don't like me. The last one I talked to specifically scared the shit out of me.
Oy, but everybody loves Apollyon.
Right.
Did you remember the story I told you the last time I talked to city guards? The ones back in the port? They were specifically looking for people matching this face and that face. Those guards might have that same.
But you had that removed, right?
Yeah, but they might have that same information, and they're going to want to know what he's doing here.
So then, Eloise should be the front of our organization.
Oh, Lord.
Does anyone have any objections?
I mean, Eloise is definitely the nicest one.
Give her the cloak of billowing. That'll really add to her overall visage as our leader.
Oh,
You just allow Apollyon to help you smooth things over.
This is gonna go so great. Oh boy.
Whatever you do, don't stop smiling, and don't let that tail of yours trip you up.
Well, we have a direction to go, at least, where he entered the Underdark from, yes?
Mhm.
So we need to find the red guard that went in that direction. So that's our direction, yes?
Yeah.
I say we get a little extra bacon to go, and we head on out.
So where specifically is the destination you all want to go?
I mean, Blood got the information of the where they entered the Underdark, right? Can we
Yes,
start
he
heading
did.
that direction? Start looking for red guard in that general direction?
You can certainly try if that's where you're wanting to go. I'm just asking for specifics.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I like it. If anybody has any amendments to it, now's the time.
So Eloise's idea was to go to the mansion. You're saying head to the area you're referring to, if you don't remember, is the depths. That's the region of the city that he had headed for a gate to the Underdark. So
Right.
Is that the same area where he lived?
It is not. Blood from a Stone,
No.
you would know this. The area that he lived in and where his training hall was the Palace District.
Yeah, he's a little highfalutin.
So they're like
yeah.
across town from each other.
Yeah, getting into
Yes.
the Palace District, do we have a way to get in is the issue.
I mean, speaking up, Vulcan says, well, you can travel amongst the districts. There's actually a fairly easy way to do that. But, so if you want to go to the Palace District, it's just a hop and skip and a jump to that area. Or if you're wanting to go to the depths, now I've never been to either of those places, but the city is fairly well laid out, not hard to find.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about dwarves. I haven't hung out with quite a few of them. But I think if an eclectic group such as ours walks up to them and starts saying, hey, can we go look in this house and get information? That's definitely not going to work. Now, we might be able to ask them a couple of questions, but they're going to get suspicious. I mean, they're in a fucking mountain away from all the other people for a reason. They like to keep to themselves. They don't trust.
Well, they're not exactly away
outside
from
folk.
other people. This is quite the melting pot here.
Yeah, but it's much, much more dwarves than anything else.
I mean, they're the primary group, but they're not exactly hiding from anyone. They're proud of the city. Everyone knows of it.
We can ask questions. I just don't know how far we're going to get. I mean, all the information we can gather is going to be good, but...
Well, we could try to get into the palace, or we could go towards our destination and find the Red Guard, see what they know. Either way, we need more information.
I say we get right into the action. This guy's running. We got to go after him.
Yeah, not good to lose much more time.
I'm with Apollyon.
So which direction are you headed?
To the
What's the
Underdark,
Underdark?
the depths.
So heading
The
to the depths. Okay.
Rolling in the deep.
And Veil smiles.
So you gather up your to-go bacon and head on out of the inn, heading in the direction of the depths. Now, you were shown on Rogark's map that the depths is a lower district of the city that had been built along cliff walls of an extremely deep gorge that separates the palace district from the rest of the city. You also know that both Presslor's mansion and his training hall are located in the palace district, as I said. Both of these districts are located at the far western side of the city, a several-hour walk from the merchant district where you all currently are. Fortunately, the dwarves have come up with a quite ingenious method of travel between the various sections of the city. You've passed these when you were walking to the conclave, but didn't exactly have the use for them before now. But the dwarves have tamed massive armored lizard-like creatures, at least 20 feet tall and easily just as wide, that are harnessed to large cylinder-shaped red wagons that the creature pulls along tracks that divide the city into districts and make traveling the sprawling metropolis a little less time-consuming. It costs 1 gold piece for an all-day pass to ride what you've discovered is called an Arkin trolley, or it costs 4 silver for a one ticket trip. So by following the hand,
I'll pay it for everybody's ticket.
By following the handy maps that are painted on the inside of the trolley, you can actually navigate pretty well what you want to go. Think Manhattan subways if you like, but dwarven style. These creatures that pull these wagons are huge, bigger than an elephant. Leathery, dark gray-green skin, but armor-plated all along the back with huge bony ridges along this creature.
Is it a single one of these things that pulls it, or is it multiple?
A single one that pulls each wagon. Each wagon itself can hold probably about, when you step inside, probably about a good 30 to 40 people if they wanted to all cram themselves into it.
How fast does this thing go?
Pretty damn fast, actually. Making up travel time throughout the city a lot easier. Going from district to district, it actually, once you get on the wagon and pay for it and ask about how long it'll take, little less than 45 minutes to get from the merchant district of the city to the depths. You all, Liam pays your fee, 1 gold apiece for tickets for the day, and you all pile into a large, beautifully ornate trolley that I'm going to move you guys to as soon as Roll20 decides to work for me. Y'all see it? Awesome.
It's loading for me, but yeah, it changed screens there because
the trolley you find yourself in is a very comfortable car filled with padded benches that face both directions, allowing your group to sit facing one another if you'd like to. But with as big of a group as you guys are, you probably pile in on the back. The ride is very smooth along the track and surprisingly quick, considering the size of the creature that's pulling it. As I said, your journey takes less than an hour, only 45 minutes to go from the merchant district across the city to a tram stop not far from what you can see is a massive chasm separating the length of the city proper from the far palace district across from it. In fact, from your vantage point, you can see the chasm itself, but though you know the palace district is beyond, you cannot see it.
Eloise is just like plastered to like the window or like hanging out of it and just like in awe of everything she sees.
And Vulcan is as well. He's standing right next to you, staring out those windows. It is amazing to see this huge city just ridden past on what's effectively an animal-pulled train. I'm sure everyone's taken either a subway or a metro or something, a train similar at one point in their life or not. And imagine kind of a train going through a city, but it's a single car pulled by a dinosaur.
This is so awesome! Oh my gosh, do you see that? Look at that!
Oh, look at that over there, Dragonfly! That is just amazing!
Do you see that? Oh my gosh, and the like detail in the architecture is just crazy!
What was that, Apollyon?
These dwarves sure are some crazy craftsmen. I never would have expected this was under this mountain.
Oh yeah, this is probably the biggest city I've ever seen, and I've been to a fair few, I ain't gonna lie.
Can I do some sort of check to see if I recognize what kind of creature this is exactly pulling it?
Certainly. Go ahead and make either a nature check or a survival check. Your choice.
All right. I'll do a nature. That's a 19.
These you've read about creatures very similar to this. Races of dinosaurs that existed up on the surface long ago. And this is kind of prickling your mind. It seems very similar to what you know is called an Ankylosaurus, but much larger. You ask one of the trolley workers along your journey, and you discover that what they're called is Arkans. It's a race of lizard that the dwarves have specially bred underneath a mountain and use as kind of beasts of burden.
All right.
Like
Does it have that,
Cute.
Okay.
does it have that ball on the back of its what do you call it?
Its
Tail,
tail,
like an ankylosaurus? Yeah.
a little bit. The tail is much shorter. Think very much shorter and squatter. Like imagine if a dog has a cropped tail. It kind of hangs
Yep.
like that, but it still has that giant ball on the end of it.
Okay.
Can I tell how they're controlling it, or do I need to roll for that?
You could have told just by going up to it. There's actually a team of 2 individuals who sit on top of the trolley as it goes in a little above car that guides and makes sure that the creature goes and stops when it's supposed to. But it seems to actually just pull it along this track.
Is this thing actually in the monster manual or anything? There's just like your creation.
What were you saying, Apollyon?
Oh, I just said it looks like a stage car, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's essentially like a giant stage car, kind of like the trolleys that are in California and San Francisco, like that. Jeremy, no, these aren't the Ankylosauruses are in the monster manual. This is just a variation of that creature.
Okay.
Clang, 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 want the trolley.
Yeah, I just wanted to know for polymorph purposes.
For polymorph purposes, huh? This is, let's see, I think this is either a huge or gargantuan one. Let me look real quick. Yeah, I think it's gargantuan.
Oof. That's
So it's
bigger than huge.
That's
Yeah.
a big one.
It's about the size of a woolly mammoth, but it uses more Ankylosaurus stats.
It's so cute.
Wait, do you have a picture of it, or are you just saying in general?
No, that's Eloise saying it to the real thing.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, your car does arrive at. It comes to rest in front of a long raised stone platform. Excuse me. You see a pair of dwarves clad in red uniforms rush up to the trolley as it pulls to a stop, carrying a short bridge that they connect to the door of the trolley once it comes to a complete stop, which can allow people to step out and cross it. You can all actually step outside, and once you do, you'll see the token for this creature and kind of get an idea of what it looks like. As I said, it is tall, almost elephant-sized, but of a green leathery skin and armor plates along the top of it and along its back.
What's that?
But yeah, I actually, for the fun of it, I made a map with the trolley on it.
Nice.
I'll show it to the viewers too. There we go. But anyway, where'd my paper go? There it is. Anyway, as you all step out onto the platform, you find an area of the city filled with nondescript buildings, many of which seem run down or even abandoned. There are quite a few red guards, or at least what you assume are red guards. Dwarves wearing dark red cloaks, bearing the symbol of a horn and an axe on its emblem. They seem to be. They're all wearing chain armor and have both sword and both sword on their side and shield on their back, and walking around in pairs of two, seemingly in patrol. There are other dwarves as well. A few halflings, giants, folk, half orcs, and things of that nature. Mostly going about their business as they make their way across the area. But you do see some red guards patrolling, since that's something you were specifically looking for. Now, Vulcan speaks up as you're all standing there, and he says, "Now, this is my first time coming to this part of the city, but I've heard about it before. The chasm down yonder has been dug out to create houses along the cliff face with paths going down to an underground river. From what I heard tell, the thing goes onward for a very long time, past the mines and everything else the hegemony has done down here. Now, Blood, where did your contact say Presslor was last seen?"
He said he saw him entering over here. It's the area called the Depths. Unless I am, yeah. Yeah, was entering very near to you. I mean, we could look and find the exact entrance, but I don't have a map on me. He did point and kind of give me a detailed description, but I don't actually have a map.
Well, so you are all looking out amongst this area of the city. Quite a few buildings about, people milling around. And when you mentioned the depths, one of the dwarves in the red uniform tending the trolley looks over and says, "This is the depths right here. The gap is over that way. Head down to block about 6 or 7 blocks and you'll see it."
So they're just... thank you?
He kind of shrugs.
Not all information is secret information, man.
But I'm wondering, are they just going to allow us to enter that? Or they got guards placed there? I mean, I guess we'll find out.
The depths is... This is the depths. It's the region.
No,
It's the name of this area.
I don't think it's forbidden to go down there. Maybe it's just unwise.
Isn't this like the poor district?
Yeah, this is basically a slums area, or the ghetto. The poor area just outside the really rich area of the city. Now, as Vulcan said, and as you guys can find as you explore this area, the gap is a huge chasm that separates the main city from the Palace District. The thing itself is about 7 miles across. It is huge and goes down massively, massively far. You can look down from the edge and see along the sides of the cliff face on the side you're on that they've dug out like pathways and built buildings along the edge of this cliff going downward, with a road zigzagging back and forth with buildings along it as you look down. So there's people living on the side of this cliff face.
Maybe somebody saw something.
While that's happening, before the trolley leaves, Eloise runs over to the big, giant, lizardy thing and is going to tell it how cute it is and is going to throw up at it to try and is going to show it the extra side bacon that we have. And then if it seems interested, it's going to try to throw it up into its mouth.
Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
No, he's an herbivore. Give him your good berries.
I didn't make any. I didn't prepare that spell.
Ankylosaurus is an herbivore. I don't know about this thing, but
8.
Oh.
You run over to it and start talking to it and telling it how cute it is, and you pull out this bacon from your pocket and start waving it at it, and its eye does look down at you, but doesn't really give you much more of an indication it's paying attention, other than the fact that its eye twitched towards you, seeing their movement and waving your hand with this bacon.
Oh, you're working. Okay, I'll leave you alone. And then I'll run back.
And as you're running back, you hear someone go, "Yeah, leave that thing alone!" From someone yelling at you from behind.
Don't yell at her.
Have a great day!
Oh,
That thing is so cool!
It really is, Dragonfly. That is so cool.
Right, where are we going?
Let's go to the west. Who's this guy right here?
West is... Which way is west?
The guy there that you're indicating is just a random token of a person I placed there minding his own business, walking about the street.
west is left on a map.
It is.
No, I meant that as Eloise, like, we're underground. She has no frame of reference of which direction is which anymore.
That's definitely true. But what are you guys wanting to do here in the depths specifically?
I think we're underground and pretty close to a labyrinth type scenario. I think Apollyon should lead because he's the best in this type scenario.
I do have labyrinth recall. I can recall any path.
Oh my
that I've
God.
taken before.
Forgot that he had that part of his fucking thing. It's what it's actually called.
It actually is.
That's an actual racial
Yeah.
ability that I've never gotten to use.
Exactly. Yeah. This is.
Unfortunately, I don't
this
think
is
this is
so.
Path that Apollyon has walked before.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying we won't get lost because once I've walked down it, I'll
Yeah,
remember
he
the way
can't
back.
get lost. That's the beauty.
That's awesome.
But where specifically are you wanting to head?
Well, from here we can see that zigzag path of houses going down there. I think we start heading in that direction, and we look for some red guard that are on the way.
Well, there are definitely red guards patrolling this area and walking, as I said, in twos here and there as you're all making your way down from the platform. If you're wanting, you can just walk up to one and talk to them if that's what you're wanting to do, or if you're wanting to go someplace specific. That's all I'm asking.
I think I'll walk up to the very first ones that I see initially. I'll flash that conclave sign like Apollyon told me to.
Yeah.
Official conclave business here. We're looking for the press lore lead. Who's in charge of that?
So, okay, you walk up to random guards that are just walking. That sounds about right. Who they're walking along the area in front of the platform. Pair of dwarves, and you say, "Who's leading the press lore investigation?"
I flash him the conclave sign, and I ask who's leading the press lore investigation. So, because I assume these guys aren't necessarily on that investigation, but somebody is. So I want to get him to point me in the right direction.
Okay, you walk up to them. You flash your the symbol of the erudite conclave that you have tattooed on your hand, and you ask them about the investigation. The dwarf looking at that you talk to or looks at you very confused because there's no preamble whatsoever.
Nope.
And who are you and why do you want to know?
As I said, conclave member Liam O'Shea. Apparently, this has taken quite a bit too long. They want some answers, and they want to know where press lore is. It hasn't gotten answered in over 3 weeks. Now, they sent us in to get it done immediately. So if you could send us in the right direction, that's all I'm asking.
Make a persuasion check.
Beautiful. Persuasion.
The dwarfs look dubious. And he says,
16.
The dwarves look dubious, and they say, well, I never heard anything about Conclave being called in to assist with the investigation.
And do you get told about everything that happens? I can tell you're not in charge of the press lore investigation. Could you please point me in the direction that it is, and that one can check my scruples, as you were.
The dwarves kind of looked to each other, and you can tell they're your average foot soldier. They're not the brightest bunch in the world. And with a 16 persuasion, fine. Yeah, the captain is in the warehouse over there on Scarmundi Lane. Head down this way about 3 blocks, and he points down behind him. Make a left just at the gorge, and you'll see the warehouse 3rd on the right. You won't miss it.
Much gracious to you. And I walk away and I relay all the information to the group. We've got a location for the lead investigator.
Thank you. Have a great day, officers.
And one of the two just kind of waves a little bit, like unsure of himself, and the other one just smacks his hand and grabs him and kind of pulls him along.
Unless anybody else had something else to do, let's head that way, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Go to the place, then talk to the person about the thing.
So you follow the directions the dwarves give you, heading down towards the gorge another few blocks before turning to the right and looking for a warehouse, which isn't hard to find because it's the one where a bunch of dwarves in red cloaks are hanging out in front of. So it's fairly easy to find. You walk up to the front, and in front of the door, there is a group of 6 dwarves standing there kind of loitering, and they eye the entire group, the 7 of you, as you all approach. Finally, one of them says, "What do you want?"
Audience with the one in charge, please.
One of the dwarves step up and say, "Yeah, I'm in charge. What do you need?"
You're wearing the exact same uniform as your friends there. I'm gonna have to say you're not in charge.
And you're not wearing a uniform at all, so what do I care?
I'm here on behalf of the Conclave. We've all come to check on this investigation about press lore. Apparently, you haven't been getting results.
Conclave, and he kind of spits. Those fucking librarians. They're always sticking their nose in where they don't belong. And a couple of the dwarves behind him chuckle a little bit. Okay, so you say you've been sent here by the Conclave. Where's your proof?
I pull out my mark and show him the thing on my wrist. We got a Conclave tattoo, right?
Yeah, you got a Conclave tattoo. And he looks at it and he says, "Great, you're a Conclave member. How do I know you're supposed to be down here?"
Why else would I be here where nothing else happens besides one exact thing? And the only exciting thing to happen in this area was press lore escaping down in this area. What else reason would I have to be here?
Make a persuasion check.
Do they have a reaction when Vulcan comes around the corner?
Like, they see a big group of people with a big guy, but they didn't, like, jump out and freak out or anything like that.
That's an 8.
If that's what you meant, Eloise.
Okay.
No, they
meant just because they know that there's, like, there was a big giant shadow and here's a big giant man.
Well, there's a difference between a 7-foot-tall guy and a 10-foot-tall guy.
Fair.
But with an 8 persuasion, the dwarf in front kind of crosses his arms a little bit, and he says, "Well, I ain't never heard of any conclave types coming down to assist. So where are your orders? You librarians always want documentation for everything. Where's your documentation?"
Louise, we could use a bit of the sweetness right now.
Okay, so here's the thing. You see the lady in the blue right there? Yeah, her name is Dritha, and we came from Bradfordshire, where apparently there was a relic that was stolen, and it released all of these like evil wraithy thingies, and they've just basically obliterated the whole entire town. And so we went there, and we tried to save people, and we brought all the survivors here. And now we're looking for the glaive, but the person who has the glaive, we think is the person who's after Mr. Bressler. I'm not supposed to say his name. Anyways, so we're just trying to look for them. We're trying to save Mr. Bressler. And we're trying to stop the big bad shadow man. So that's why we're looking for information. Shit, I was so close to making through without breaking. God damn it.
Well, I guess make another persuasion check. The DC is a little higher at this point,
Oh,
but
please, Jesus.
I'll help to give her advantage. I'll go, and I'm the muscle.
How does that get her advantage?
So Apollyon is back behind her with Vulcan standing right next to him, and he just starts flexing randomly, doing that big
Like,
Apollyon
don't worry,
grin.
We can take care of ourselves. Any jabronis get in our way.
I don't know if I want to give you advantage for that.
I could roll intimidation.
Roll a performance check. If you roll above a 15, I'll let her have advantage.
No.
The dwarves seem unimpressed by the guy flexing behind you, but Eloise, go ahead and make your persuasion check.
Oh!
Man.
Not everyone's rambling is adorable.
Yeah, with a 7, this guy says, "I don't know who the hell you think you are, but if you're trying to latch yourself on to our investigation, you got another thing coming. Now, I haven't heard anything about any conclave members coming down here," and he's like stepping forward. You can see he's quite a bit more attempting to intimidate. His hand is leaning on his weapon a little bit, and the other dwarves standing there too seem to be getting the idea that these people are maybe not supposed to be here at all. And
Oh no, I'm Eloise.
There, you have a message in our Twitch chat, man.
message in our Twitch chat.
Anesthetic is desperately trying to get your attention.
Oh, I am so sorry, Anesthetic. I did miss chat. You redeemed advantage for Eloise. So, yes. Go ahead, Eloise. One more persuasion check.
The gods have smiled upon us.
Come on.
The gods seem to be smiling upon you right now.
Better on the die roll.
But
Can we get those like added together, maybe?
unfortunately, a 12 is not enough. These dwarves seem to be gathering towards you now. Their hands on their weapons. And they're saying, "Now, I don't know who the hell you all think you are,
Well, I'm Eloise.
but you are not supposed to be in... You are not supposed to be... Oh, goddamn. Anesthetic is trying to give one more time.
Hope it doesn't get
Well. This hasn't gone into anything yet. Let's see if we need it. Hang on.
I think
So
y'all are about to get rolled.
I'm gonna hold my hands up in the most non-threatening way that I can. I can't hold both hands up on camera because I need to hold the key. But 10. We're not here to fight you, and we're not here to make you look bad. But we're going to find this man that's responsible for all the death that's happened. Now you can either take a little bit of credit for that, or you can take no credit, because one way or another, we're going to find him.
Liam, why can't we just give them all the credit?
Don't threaten them.
You're more than welcome to have all the credit if you want. We don't even need to be mentioned in the story of the great takedown of the massive shadowy Goliath that devastated all security forces. You could be the ones that bring in the body.
There are these dwarves that are looking at you, Liam, as you're saying this. They seem to be getting angrier by what you're saying. The dwarf in front says, "Nobody's here is looking for glory, looking for credit. We don't need some passers-by interfering with our investigation."
Here to interfere, and we're not here for glory. What would you like? Justice? We all want justice.
Go ahead. Make one more persuasion check. This is going to be the last persuasion check I'm allowing for this group right here, and the DC is still higher. But anesthetic is paying one more time for the advantage, so I'm allowing you to roll this, Liam, at advantage.
All right, I'll roll it twice, I guess. First one's not so good.
Yay!
Oh man, the second one was almost a nat 19. 19 total.
Well, it went 15, 17, 19 for the DC.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone wants justice, baby.
Everyone wants justice, baby. These dwarves, you can hear some murmuring kind of coming behind them, and he says, "Wait right here." He steps inside the warehouse, and the door closes behind him. The rest of the dwarves crowd the front of it and kind of stand there, their arms crossed a little bit, murmuring amongst themselves. Eventually, the dwarf that had spoken to you, Liam, comes through the door once again, and he says, "The captain wants to speak with you all. This way."
And totally out of character, I knew he wasn't the fucking captain. Ha I totally would not say that in character. Okay, here we go.
You are led into the warehouse, back to a small room that turns out to be a makeshift office. The doors open by the dwarf you are all talking to. And when inside, you see an elderly dwarf with gray-brown salt and pepper hair and a beard that's been braided in front of him. He is wearing armor, chainmail, and leather as well, with the same red cloak that I have described earlier. On his shoulders, you see 6 starbursts, 6 little stars on each of the shoulder. That clearly indicates rank. The dwarf looks up at all of you as you're all kind of pushing your way inside. And he says, I'm told you have some information regarding my investigation into the attack and disappearance of Elvis Preslor.
Hey.
Now, first thing I have to ask, who the fuck are you actually? And why are you telling my men that the Conclave sent you down here?
I'll level with you. That was bullshit. I needed to talk to you. I am...
Eloise.
This is Eloise. I am the former student of the man responsible for all the attacks here. I know why he's after this dwarf, and I need to stop him.
The dwarf strokes his beard as you say this. He finally looks back at the dwarf behind you all, and he says, close the door.
Hey.
There are only 3 chairs in there in front of his desk. But there are a couple benches as well. And he nods to you all and he says, take a seat. And start at the beginning.
I'm kidding.
For the sake of time, I tell him about me taking the glaive. I tell him about the town in shambles. I tell him that if we don't get this glaive back, then what happened to Bradfordshire is going to spread. It will have no cork for that bottle. This glaive is the only way to cork the bottle that I'm aware of. I don't know how it works. I don't understand magic at all. But I did something and I need to fix it.
Make a persuasion check with advantage, Liam. Because you're completely honest.
Moving slow here. Give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourself for a second.
Well, the captain of the Red Guard introduces himself as Bramdrak Sternfeast.
Ramdrak Stormfeast? Sternfeast.
Yep, Bramdrak, Bramdrak, Sternfeast, Sternfeast. I love random name generators. You up and running again, Liam?
Up and running, yes. Persuasion roll at advantage.
That's funny.
Just barely a 16, man.
Sternfeast listens to your tale, explaining exactly what had happened, your part in the whole matter. He strokes his beard, listening for this whole thing, which I imagine probably takes a little while to explain everything to. Eventually he says, the story you're telling me does track with things that we do know about this case. The murder started about a month or so ago. Unfortunately, because of the lack of the evidence, it took us a while to realize the pattern. And they were all treated as an individual attack, so it did not cross my desk beforehand. There are 8 in total who's been killed by the shadowy beings that you seem to think is your former master. I have received a report that a group of refugees from Bradfordshire has been deposited here in Morag yesterday afternoon.
We took as many as we could, thanks to the Goliath here, and the Dragonborn Eloise, of course, which you've met.
If you're looking for this individual and you think you know him and are able to deal with him, I was planning on sending a team into the Underdark to search for him, for Presslor specifically. We know that Presslor has a family keep deep in the Underdark. Apparently, his training hall uses this keep for their own training purposes, survival training, that sort of thing. When we searched his manor, we found this, and he pulls out from his desk a roll parchment. This here is a map that shows the location of Presslor's keep, and he spreads it out on the desk and points to a place there in the center of the map. A large, very oblong-shaped keep in a huge chasm. That the path is very winding, and this map he shows you has tons of tunnels going in all sorts of directions, but a clear path has been drawn through these tunnels to this keep. He says, now at the attack on Presslor's manor, witnesses described globes of darkness appearing before beings clad in shadow attacked. They easily disabled Presslor's staff. One witness described one of these shadows to be a massive in size, 10 or more feet tall, with wielding what looked to be curved blades. Now we think Presslor might have fled to this location here. Now, traveling there could take a week or more, and we are outfitting a group to head out in there. However, if your group's willing to head out there yourselves, I'd be willing to make an agreement with the Conclave to send your group there instead.
Yeah, well, we
Or
have a
anything-
faster way to travel there, so that could be good.
Before anything's set in stone, do you wish to have the body?
Presslor, we'd prefer to find him alive.
Not Presslor, I meant the 10-foot tall individual. Do you care if you have his body, or do you just want proof of death?
Taking him alive is always the priority of the Red Guard. If that's not possible, his body suffices as proof. We need to at least see that he's dead. But after that...
Understood. I know an individual. Go
I don't
ahead.
think he's gonna fit in my cold bag.
No.
The dwarf kind of gives you a weird look at that statement.
Polymorph him.
Well,
Not
If-
gonna last very long.
if what you said is true and Oma is alive, he'll want to see this body as well once we get it.
Okay, I still don't know how we're gonna carry it back, but I mean, I'm sure we can figure something out.
Well, the Conclave has ways of fast travel as well, if I understand correctly. We'll just bring it back to this Conclave, that's all we need to do.
The dwarf places the map down on the table. And he says, Now, I'm going to have to file a report on all of this. But I'll give you a note to give to the gatekeepers that'll allow you to get past. But everything you've said is going to have to be in my report. He looks at you, Liam. What the magistrates do beyond that, I can't tell you.
I'm used to living on the run. You tell them what you have to.
The dwarf writes out a note, basically saying, giving the captain's name, that he's allowing these individuals access to gate 117. He tells you that he'll have one of the dwarves escort you down there to this gate. And this letter here will allow you passage through there. Once you find Presslor, or alive or dead, and find the individual who's been attacking people, bring proof of life or death, and they'll consider the matter resolved. But they prefer to bring a live prisoner.
Alive if possible.
That way they can question themselves.
Is any of us really good at looking at maps and memorizing them?
And we have the map?
But it's more similar
Oh yeah, he's giving you the map.
to Apollyon's ability where I can just remember anywhere I've been.
Well, he's letting us have the map, so...
Yeah, no,
Presslor's.
Yeah, the map, he's giving you the map.
Under Dark Bungalow.
Alright.
Okay. Well, as the dwarven captain hands you the map and the letter, you all stand up, realizing you now have a clear path to find the man you're searching for. And we're going to end things right here for this evening. So, thank you everybody for watching. It's been an interesting episode, and I've certainly enjoyed it. I hope you all did too. Check us out every Monday at 7 o'clock for the Faab Five, and at 3 o'clock for the Debauchery Circus. On behalf of everyone here in the Faab Five, I just want to say thank you once again for watching. We love you very much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next Monday. Good night.
I wonder how often people are going to say things like, I don't know who you are, or whatnot to Eloise, and have her respond with, oh no, I'm Eloise, before they stop saying those things.
Well, you keep encountering new people, so I think it's just going to be a trend. Good night, everybody.